Yep. Hey, GM friends, how is everybody doing? Gotcha, gang. Let's bring. Okay, White Ranger's coming up. If someone can please turn on the Gotchi bot recording so that we're ready to rock.
What up?
Good morning, sir.
everyone.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey. How's it going?
The takeover has begun.
Yeah.
Nah,
Bring in the bot.
bring
I
in the
love
bot.
I love the Aavegotchi agent is now like making fun of Jonah and his AI agent. It's like it's pleasurable for me to watch.
I didn't see that
Yeah,
one.
I think you're talking about the Twitter tweets it's making, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can make fun of whoever.
Is the anti-polygon stuff still going? I haven't seen one of those in a while. Those were bangers.
Yeah, I was talking to LP. I'm a major bag holder, so I was like, dude, we gotta chill on that. And I think it
Well,
was like I remember like one of the days like Polygon pumped like 20% on like one
yeah.
day just out of the blue, and it was like Polygon sucks like every third tweet, and I'm like, dude,
Well, it's
chill.
bottom signals, bottom signals. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
We need more
right.
of that.
Yeah,
The more you FUD, finally it starts moving.
yeah. I mean, that's a good strategy. I don't pretend to know everything. I just kind of let things ride as they do.
Yeah, I actually want to say shout out to Light Piglet, man. He gave me the alpha during ETH Denver for Hyperliquid, and that
Mm,
airdrop was
cooked.
insane. I paper handed part of it. If I had held until now, I would have gotten $21,000.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
it looks really
opportunities
nice.
to be taken advantage of for sure.
Yeah, I took profit way too early. I still have like a nice bag riding. Like I took 2/3 of the full amount, but just like it doubled overnight. It's like, ah, man, this always happens to me. If, like if I sell too early, it's gonna pump. If I hold, it dumps. So it's like I don't, airdrop season. We'll figure it out one day.
I saw some people chatting about the airdrop. What do you think they did right? Like, what is I mean, they obviously it's a very very successful good project. But what did any notes on what they did like with the airdrop? I saw people talking about they like started it out really low so that people wouldn't have to sell for tax reasons and stuff.
Yeah, they started out at like point like 5 zeros and a one. So it was like the
Yeah,
tax hit is like amazing. It's just going to be so low. The second thing is 31% of of this Genesis distribution came for to the community. 6% is going to the foundation, but there's another 38% for like rewards for community. So it just like they did everything right. Like they no VCs, no insiders. It's like someone I was talking to, they're like, this is as close as a community gets to being the
yeah,
seed round investors. So like anybody that wants to invest in the protocol has to buy our bags. And like, I mean, I didn't trade like with tons of money. Like I went in with a few $100. Ran it up to 1,000. I got liquidated completely a couple times, but I ended up leaving like with a like maybe $1,500 of profit from my trading, as well as a airdrop for per, which is a token that they drop. Which at the time that I sold that was another 1,500. It ran up to 2,500 if I'm not mistaken. So like I didn't have to do a ton of stuff, and I got most of my points in the first like couple weeks that I started playing on it. So yeah, it was just the way they did the distribution, the whole tax thing, and they're gonna have
yeah.
a very small amount towards grants. So I'm interested to see what that is. But yeah, it's just like Hyperliquid also by far is the best perps trading platform I've played with. I right now Jupiter is going through like turmoil because they spun up
Hmm.
a DAO and they're forcing a 70% quorum and for this vote for Jupiary, which was already promised. And now like people are getting angry because they're seeing like Hyperliquid. Some of these people made $1 million plus on the airdrop, and now Jupiter is like kind of like messing around with theirs, and everybody's like, "Oh, I could have been farming Hyperliquid. I was farming Jupiter first, and then I found out about Hyperliquid. uh Jupiter's perps suck. Like there's so much of a delay in terms of trading, and it kept wrecking me. I felt like it was a fixed like rigged system that like,
Right.
oh yeah, on pumps I'm trying to sell and for some reason it's just not working.
Yeah,
Like
that's how I always thought about BitMEX. I got wrecked so many times on BitMEX back in the day. It's like it wouldn't execute on time, or like it would ignore stop losses and stuff.
Yeah, and that hurts. Like, so this one was really good. There's another protocol that I'm playing with on Say that's a very similar project to Hyperliquid. It's called what's it called? Filament Finance. So they're talking about, like all I feel like we're in airdrop season. So it's just like, play around with as many protocols as possible without losing too much money.
Great. Yeah, it's pretty wild out there. There's lots of stuff sloshing around. Good time to be out there and looking at, looking and seeing what's out there and uh just yeah, do DYOR and had you, Light Piglet, you did well too. You cooked on it. That's good, man.
He told me not to sell too, and I didn't listen. I woke up at 3 in the morning and saw I had $10,000. I was like, oh, I got to sell some of it. I'm unemployed, so I might as well. Should have held. Should have held.
Yeah, I occasionally go back and look at my emails from like 2016 where I sold 2 Bitcoin. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? It's like $600. Like, I don't know. It's not good.
You gotta buy those pizzas.
Yeah, I've paper handed my whole life.
But
Maybe I'll just
virtuals, you know what?
yeah, virtuals.
I didn't fade virtuals, but I just don't have like I was talking to my wife about this today. It's like we need to set up a little fund basically because I saw virtuals back in like October, I think it was, as I was looking at all the different AI agent stuff, and virtuals was like it popped up. I was like, this is kind of cool. Like this could be interesting. And now it's like 1.5 billion. Could have been a very, very probably like 100x at least if I had bought it back then and just held. But I was like, I just don't have a lot of funds. Everything's tied up and stuff. I was like, I need to set a bag aside for this kind of stuff. But
Yeah, it's
I'm glad.
also like a lot of mental capacity too, man. I've hit
Yeah, it is.
walls kind of like I can only be involved in so many projects. It's a lot to keep up with.
Yeah.
And you do have to like hot potato play the game a little bit and just it starts to be a lot. But no, I'm real. I mean, you can just pop into their API. Like I'm real impressed, and they're on the grind. Um, some features aren't completely built out yet, but the fun thing is like it's like inspiring people, bringing them together. You're all under the umbrella trying to achieve a goal, and everyone's doing as much as they can to try to get there. And when you have a token associated and everybody's incentivized to accomplish the same thing, it can get things done pretty quickly.
Well, yeah, let's talk about what you guys have been doing with the AAA. You've been the progress has been
Triple A.
great.
Yeah, it's well, when you're dealing with AI, and the fun thing about this is like as we did it, the people involved, because like I've been neck deep in AI for like a year and a half. I mean, I got into OpenAI the second the app released. You know what I mean? So like I've been pretty deep in it for a year and a half, and people, of all walks of life are starting to like dip their toes in a little bit. And when you have an agent like this, like in the build process, even the people that were involved in like getting AAA off the ground, like as we start to build it, and they're like asking me questions like, well, how do I do this? How do I do this? And we're like in a group chat with the AI. I just start asking the AI. And then you get into a situation. Yeah. So I'm like, why? Come on, we got it right here. Like, let's use it to do it. And then you get into situations where you start to learn how you can like layer these systems. Like you can ask AI for a prompt for another AI, and then use that to make something else with AI. And it's like, okay. And then they start to like see the picture a little bit. They start to see what all you can do. And then when I started like adding databases and API calls for real-time data, compiling everything, scraping the chats for context, like wrapping it all into one package, and then just hitting the command, they're like, oh shit, this is real. And then, once you start getting these base layers built, you just keep going higher and higher until AAA's in your kitchen making you a sandwich, telling you about the next airdrop or whatever.
Yeah, I see it talking on virtuals.io. It's talking about someone asked it, what's the best APR you can find in base? And it's like, I got a lead on a 22% APR and a new stable swap vault. I don't know if that's real, or if it's just like hallucinating. But it's funny that if it is real, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know. We're like, this is still kind of a new sector, and I would be kind of apprehensive about assuming that everything happening in that ecosystem right now is all AI. So I feel
Yeah.
like you're going to get a little bit of like hand involvement, but like on the flip side of that, I wouldn't want it to be all AI. You know what I mean? Like, you still have to feed this thing and interact with it to give it the correct training data. So like the auto tweets versus like some choreographed tweets, like I lean more towards choreographed than auto, or like maybe a hybrid system of both. But I still feel like, I don't know, I'm not ready to like remove humans altogether and just let the AI run wild, which is fun to do, but I don't know. I like to kind of still be involved a little bit. And I don't know. I'll send a link in the chat. I stayed up all night building this tweet from the devs application to where users can generate and select tweets to send as the devs so that, they can keep deving instead of being on Twitter promoting the product.
Is that on the Gotchi Bot website? Or it's new?
I made this last night. I didn't go to sleep until 4 a.m. It's I mean, I can send you like a private DM and you can play with it a little bit. Right now you can send tweets as me or like Piglet. I'd have to check with LP and see what he's comfortable with. I know he kind of guards his Twitter a little bit. We also, the way that I have the like framework set up, we kind of got to dial in. It's got like a multi-tier randomizer, so it'll randomize your subject, randomize your style, and then has a consistent character card. And then you click generate, it generates eight tweets, randomized between subject style, and then with a consistent character, then you just click tweet, it shoots it out. I think the last 3 or 4 on my Twitter are from this app.
What's the experience been for you on the virtuals, kind of programming the backstory and the lore and the knowledge base?
Yeah, it's non-functional right now. If I got to be 100% honest with you, you can send a template in with it, and you can pack a lot into that template. But at the end of the day, it's going to come out as soup because you're not like distinguishing what things are. It's just going to combine everything in the template into its response. But they are actively developing everything, and then you could potentially do some like fancy API stuff with like what they have already. It's just, I think with a lot of crypto too, it's kind of like building the plane as you're flying, and they're in the air with a good like model, and it's super functional. And I don't know like the inside brains of it because you're just sending an API request and then you get the data back. But I do like their model. It's quirky. It's smart. It seems like it's being tailored to what they're using it for, which is nice.
Right.
But for dev purposes, it's been easier to supplement different products and combine things together. And we were talking about on the call yesterday. It's like they're like, "Well, hey, what are you guys using?" I'm like, "It's gonna be the best of whatever's available at the moment, and we're gonna have the best of everything." I think in this era that we're in right now, getting attached to a certain AI model or process is going to just only hurt you in the long run.
Yeah.
because
Man, that's how I feel
it's just
about
going to innovate
blockchain
so
too.
fast. Yeah.
Blockchains and AI are like that. It's like you just got to pick one, and with AI, I think it's a little bit easier to switch around than a whole blockchain.
Yeah.
But that's how we feel about everything related to chains as well.
Yeah. Right now, Claude is starting to get an edge over OpenAI. And so you're starting to see a lot of people start to wake up to that. Be like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah,
free
Claude's
market
fast, and
competition.
that's what like Cursor uses by default, and it's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Preview
It
is really
also has
nice
like,
but it's slow.
yeah. But the thing I like about preview is the amount. Like I can have that thing output like 1,000 line
Yeah,
script in one sitting, and it just
yeah, kind of one shots
works.
it.
So, yeah, it's like holy shit. But it's a wild space to be part of, and like also like hyper functional. Like when I was building this thing, I like hopped into general chat and I saw Goobs answering a question that he's probably answered 50,000 times. I was like, oh man, how nice would it be just to be like, tag the bot, you know?
Yep. Yeah, they've been working
And
on
then
some slash commands too. It's funny that
yeah,
he's working on those at the moment, the exact moment you guys have been doing this. But I was like, you guys need to start like adding slash commands for common stuff like Geist memberships and how to
yeah,
how to
absolutely.
how to do gotcha points and stuff.
And I didn't realize this either. This happened like as we were testing, but like somebody was like, tell me about Aavegotchi and Espanol. And then it just did the whole spiel, but in the
Yeah,
like a language that they're comfortable with. And there was like
that's epic.
there
Yeah,
was like there was like zero extra steps. And like I had this like moment of like, oh, like this guy's probably all he's ever wanted is to hear about Aavegotchi in his natural language. He's been trying to translate for years, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, here you go. I also was
yeah,
like looking at a feature to where when it scrapes the chats, it'll find comments with question marks and then auto answer those. Um, that was kind of something we
that's
were
neat.
playing around with. Yeah, it didn't make it into this version, but it could absolutely like auto answer questions. And then you add
Well, we
another
got
AI
yeah.
agent, they start talking to themselves. Chaos in the world.
If you guys are joining, you don't know what we're talking about. This is in the server already. GotchiBot AI, and you can ask it questions with the exclamation Gotchi tag. And yeah, you guys have filled it with quite a knowledge base of what is it, like wiki, the blog, the Discord. What else has it like engorged on our just like our transcripts of calls yet?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a funny story actually. So there was 39 DAO calls that I was converting the audio to text,
Yeah.
and I wrote a script because in Google speech to text, I was like have to do it like manually through their AI, and so I was like, screw this, I'll write a script to do it, and then like I wrote a script to like convert the 39 calls, and I didn't like understand how their API process works. So like I ran the script a few times and it looked like nothing was happening. And I went to bed. And then when I woke up, it had transcribed all 39 calls 10 times at
God.
like no, at like 2 cents a minute. And so I ended up getting a bill for like $500.
Oh,
And
bro.
I was like, holy shit. And then to make it worse, if you don't save their ping of the ID of the transcript, you can't recover it, and it's not saved in their system at all.
Wow.
So not only did I get a $500 bill, but I didn't have any of the IDs to pull the transcripts from what I paid for. And this was
Yeah.
like early on in the project, and I was like, wait a second. I'm 20 hours into development. I now have a bill for $600 and I've made zero money. I was like, I'm completely wrecked. But yeah,
Well, good thing
and their
Gotchi
system it
token
was like
came out.
yeah. We've done all right. So yeah, I transcribed all the calls. That's in the brain. I scraped the last 5 years of snapshot data, and that's in the brain. It's actively scraping the last 50 messages of all the Discord channels it's in. So it'll like have context to what's going on, like as you're talking to it. And then, yeah, and then all the templates and stylizations and things like that are all in there also. And then moving forward is refining these data sets, making everything organized, getting the templates ready so it knows where to look for things, et cetera, et cetera. And then yeah,
You
like
guys,
adding voice,
we got to add the
image
info on
recognition.
Trotter. You guys didn't. You don't know who Trotter is?
I have no idea. This is my first time hearing it.
Who knows about Trotter? See who knows their Gotchi lore. This should be a Gotchi trivia one day. Yeah, it's OG Gotchi gang. No, but you guys have done Thunderfish. I'm looking forward to watching this baby learn more and more. I just think it's cool, like that. It's just totally community led, and we Pixelcraft haven't had to do anything, and it's totally community led, and people are learning about Aavegotchi through this. Like this is really really neat. I think it's amazing effort by you guys to
Well,
as we have
the last the last call I was on with you, you literally said, "Don't ask the DAO
yeah
for money. Launch your own token." So
yeah. Well, that's what I'm
we
saying. Like I
instantly
told
did the exact same thing you asked us to do.
yeah
It's like, well, here
yeah
we are,
like
dude. Launch the token. Here's your product. It's in your
now I'm
chat. Ask it anything about
did you
anything.
we did at that same week we did launch the Gotchi play to airdrop campaign. So that is I'm like, oh well, it'll work itself out somehow. This is on base.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but no, I think it's cool. Like the crypto literally runs everything is token based. So if you're doing a game or something or doing anything in this current meta, you kind of have to have a token, otherwise you're irrelevant.
Yeah, we
And
are
I think it's
AI
cool that you
based.
guys use virtuals.
Yeah, AI and gaming. That's where we're. I mean, and like I remember getting the private message from like Piglet. He's like, "Hey, I'm working on an Aavegotchi AI. Do you want to help?" And I was like, "I mean, I've never been more targeted by a project in my entire life." But yeah, massive fun, and yeah, I want to get this thing in the game. So
Yeah,
it will be in the Gotchiverse as
we'll
a
get it a
character
Geist
running.
membership.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll have a wallet. It'll just be throwing money, spawning stuff, doing whatever anyone does. And I do feel like the AI agent is the new scholar. That's kind of like where my head's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, I want to build a squad of these things, follow me around, just wreck anything that gets close. It's like if you're coming in the Gotchiverse, you're gonna have to deal with me and my AI army. Yeah, and we were might be a little inside baseball, but we're gonna start to like build out prompting based on wearables. So if you want to like log in and talk to your actual Gotchi, its
Yeah,
personality will kind of be like based on what it's wearing, which is like a crazy kind of cool concept.
that's where it needs to go. I'm jealous. I've been working on all this bridging for the last like month, and it's just taken so much time. But we're almost done. But I'm happy that you guys are starting to work on this, and like I do think it makes a ton of sense to, how like the personality of the character should be like based on its Aavegotchi traits and its wearables, and a little bit of backstory if possible. But if you just had the personality based on the wearables, and like the actual Aavegotchi traits, and it kind of knows what kind of eyes it has and the aggression and all that. Like, and you could tune the personality to it. That's that would be like a cool formula for characters that you could interact, in game.
Yes, sir. And yeah, you're welcome to. I mean, yeah, it's a collaborative effort, and that was kind of the thing of like, when people are like, "Hey, man, you built this cool thing, nothing's like it," blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, but I'm also like leveraging 2,000 years of human evolution. I'm just adding a layer onto this canvas that's been
Yeah.
painted since the dawn of civilization. So it's like, relax. And then I do feel you on just staring at code. It doesn't really give much time for anything in your life, and there's always something to develop.
Yeah.
Never ending.
Especially now. This shit is like watching paint dry. It's very tedious. There's so many different moving parts with it, but yeah, we're close to the end here. Just getting the UI, all the subgraphs, all the bridging socket contracts, making sure that wearables don't get lost in the bridge and stuck and stuff. I lost a gotchi mug because I'm testing in prod right now. I do have some contracts going. They're kind of locked down, so you can't really do much. But I lost the gotchi mug. It's stuck in one of the old vault contracts, so sacrificed it. It was just like a faulty contract that I had to kind of abandon. But it's that's not going to happen.
So you're telling me there's one less gotchi mug out there?
Yep.
Pump it.
It's in one of the vaults
Pump it.
somewhere.
I'm heading to the bazaar. I'm heading
I've
to the
been
bazaar right now.
yeah.
Supplies down.
I got a gotchi named Bridgeor that I've just been bridging back and forth. I'll show you guys Bridgeor. He's not dressed right now, but he had a gotchi mug and an agent pistol and a 10-gallon hat. He's just been going back and forth. But I think he's naked right now because I guess I might talk about this more during the DAO call, or I can just talk about it now. But basically, what we initially wanted to have gotchis be able to go through the bridge with their wearables on, so you don't have to take them off. But I actually got it all working, except there's one issue, which is if you bring a gotchi, if you bridge it from Polygon to Geist with all of its wearables on, and then you take the wearables off and you try to bridge the wearables individually back from Geist to Polygon, there's some accounting that the socket bridge does to basically ensure that if the hack happened or something like on the child chain, that you wouldn't be able to just flood the parent chain with a bunch of tokens. So because the tokens are being bridged, it registers the gotchi, but it doesn't register the wearables because they're kind of like the gotchi is like a mule, kind of muling the wearables across the bridge. So it doesn't know about the wearables. And so when you go to try to bridge the wearables back, it's the contract is like, hey, you didn't bridge them, like they don't exist, or they're in the vault, but the contract uh, won't let you burn them because they don't exist on the chain as far as the bridge is concerned. So there's a couple options. If you guys look at the Gotchi Gang chat, we were chatting about it earlier. But I think I think it's simpler to just make the gotchis go through naked. It's like going through TSA.
Yeah,
You,
yeah.
you got to
Make it
take
part
your
of the
shoes
lore. You
off.
guys take your damn shoes off.
You got to go through. We're gonna zap you through, and your wearables are gonna come through the conveyor belt when you get there, and you can put them back on when you're on the other
Yeah, you
side.
can make a whole slew of graphics for that, and nothing like a tech problem you didn't know you had. Sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it's there's been so many little edge cases, a lot of which were wearables related. So this actually does simplify things a lot where if you want to bridge your wearables, you bridge your wearables and they get accounted for in the bridge. If you want to move your gotchi, you move your gotchi. And so that like it's basically live now. I need to deploy the final contract, and then we will be able to start bridging gotchis and wearables over pretty soon here. Just want to make sure that no one's
So
stuff gets lost in the bridge.
is Bridger on chain over there already, or is he back
Yeah.
on?
Let's see where he is
Bouncing
right
back
now.
and
I was playing with.
forth.
So let's see where
Maybe I can add some tracking to GotchiBot, so GotchiBot knows where all the
Yeah.
Aavegotchis are on what chain. We were adding a feature to where you could like search a gotchi and it would return the API of all the wearables. But then we wanted the request to run through the AI, so that instead of just giving you like an out AI, like giving you an API output, it would give you like a conversational output. But when
Yeah.
the wearables information was running through the template and everything else, it just made a soup again. So we have to like kind of build things out separately so that the AI template that the API sends the request through is more minimal, so that you hold on to all the original data from the API. Because like right now, I think you can ask it the price of Ethereum, but it like sometimes gets confused about it.
The Third Web is also, they just launched a product because we're pretty close with Third Web. We should be getting kind of alpha access to it soon here. It's also an AI kind of intent for AI kind of product. So I think when it relates to like the wallet and finding routes and stuff, I think it might be helpful. I don't know how helpful like virtuals, what kind of backend they're providing for that. Does it know the price of Ghost? Does it know about the bonding curve?
Sorry, my mic was muted. So the real issue is, if we say, Gotchi, what is the price of Ghost? It's going to hit an API. It's going to give you the price of Ghost, and then it's going to take
Hmm.
the price of Ghost, add it to the prompt, and then send it to the AI. Now, everything in that thing's brain has the Ghost in it. So when it goes to search through its logs and generate a prompt, it gets just it like divides by zero with the letters GHST, and it's super hard to get it to say the price. It has it in its brain, like if you watch it in the console, you'll see the price come in. But then when it goes to tell you about it, it's like, oh, we're talking about ghosts. Let me tell you about the bonding curve, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So it's like just building it out in layers, so that if it because it's right now it's hooked on the price term. Like if you say price and then like a crypto, it'll give it to you for the ones it's programmed for. But yeah, Ghost is not. It just gets confused. Same thing with like Gotchi token. It's
Hmm.
like the second you say Gotchi, it associates it with everything else.
So do you need
But
to just
in
put in
soon.
the cash tag, like price of cash tag Ghost?
Oh no, you say price of GHST.
It's all
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the AIs. The issue with AI responses is that they're just so damn verbose. Like that's like a tuning thing, probably. Whoever like they've done a good job, I think, with like Degen Spartan AI, where it's like fairly. I mean, I don't know. I haven't talked with it, but I've seen mainly the tweets. But everything is so verbose.
yeah.
Pretty
It's
cool
just
though.
right now it only does Bitcoin because we don't have a lot of the word Bitcoin in the training data. But I'll get back to it, and we'll figure it out.
Uh, so we also yesterday, Lost Local. I don't know if you're in the chat here. Do you want to come up and talk about the merch store? Because we just launched that, and there's a sale going on right now for the latest Geist merch and the new Liquidator themed sweater. We got the Black Friday sale going on right now. There's a lot going on, so it's easy for stuff to get caught as just there's so much going live in different stages. But I want to make sure everyone knows about the shop and gets. If you want to get some merch for the holidays, good time to grab it now.
Yeah, GM, everyone. Yeah,
Hello.
there is a ton going on, so it's a lot to keep up with. But we announced our new holiday sweaters as well as the new merch shop. We soft launched it last week on the Hangout, um, worked through a few bugs, and then we went live publicly, officially yesterday. So we're running 20% off with Gotchi Gang, all caps. I don't think caps matter, but all caps Gotcha Gang, just in case. That'll take 20% off your whole order. And as mentioned, this is a print to order. So we will be constantly adding new items. And also, these are going to be fulfilled locally. So shipping and all that shouldn't be too bad. And also, you won't have to deal with customs outside of our
Yeah.
holiday sweaters. So, big win there. So definitely take a look. We'll also have some of this stuff at live events for purchase. We'll put together a nice retail section for the ETH Denver booth so people can purchase there. But yeah, definitely check it out. Get some orders in, and we'll probably run some. We'll run some promos where if you post merch, we'll set up a channel on Discord and we'll start to give away some nice discounts and coupons and credits for folks that are flexing the merch out there. At the end of the day, we just want people to be able to rep Aavegotchi and be able to provide a bunch of cool, apparel. Right now, 3/4 of my wardrobe is crypto. A lot of it's goon stuff, but looking forward to replacing a lot of that with some gotchi stuff. So definitely take a look and slide into DMs if you have any suggestions or ideas. And big shout to Soju for we featured his wearable set on the holiday sweater this year, which was
Yep.
super fun and kind of a homage to our partnership with Base.
Yeah, this kind of finishes out the Trinity. So we started with pink and then Raffle, and we knew even last year when we were doing the Raffle one, we knew we wanted to finish it off with a Liquidator one. Didn't know that it would be blue, but I think it's a nice way to finish out the collection.
Yeah, and I did get some alpha on a print to order sweater company for next year. So we may be able to do another one, but this will be the last year that they're limited edition. So these will be vintage in the scheme of things. After this, they'll kind of be print on demand. So there you go. And while I'm up here, just also reminder, we've got a ton going on next week in Miami for Art Basel. You'll see our official announcement this week with invites. But we have a ton going on. Zbot's going to be here. Soju's going to be here. Um, we've got an awesome tournament going on, a Gotchi Guardians tournament that's going to be virtual and IRL with our partners over at Catalyst OG. So definitely give Catalyst a follow. They just announced the prelims. So if you guys want to go in there and wreck some folks and compete, there's some Ghost on the line. And we'll be live streaming that. I think it'll be around the same time that right after the Hangout next Saturday, because I think it all lines up with the launch of the Gashiverse as well. So there'll be a lot going on next Saturday.
Yeah, we also, Gotchi Guardians is going to have a new release going out next week. This is their 0.7. It's got a ton of updates. Definitely don't miss that one. It's like it feels like it literally is a new game. It's like he's done a lot to reinvent the game and kind of make it way more beginner friendly while also keeping the skill gap. It's actually bigger than it was before. So it's going to be a great game to trial, and that's going to also be live together with Gotchi Points, where you can play Gotchi Guardians, get badges, and then if you're a Geist member, get your spins and spin the wheel. So it's finally this kind of plan that we've been working on like for the last year, even longer. It's finally coming to fruition here for the first time. Gotchi Guardians will have that live, and yeah, the Gotchiverse will also have its debut on the. I believe it's going to be on the Hangout next week. So coming in strong here for the end of the year. Really just trying to get all the ducks in order for next year when we're going to really kick things off here on the chain with the points, with the games. Now we got the AIs coming in. It's shaping up to be a very strong kind of ecosystem for that's really totally unique in crypto. There's literally nothing like this ecosystem anywhere else. So always every day proud to be here.
Yeah, that's always been the case. Absolutely send it, guys. I'm so bullish on the next couple years. Shout out to Trump Dog.
And I mean, we got White Ranger also bringing in the Polycade, like cooking on multiple fronts, sir.
Yeah, we have 4 new levels. There's NPCs that attack you as you're fighting your opponent. They drop tokens that you can pick up in game to buy new items. I was gonna have the screen share loaded. I might try to get down there and get it set up. I didn't sleep a lot last night and was hyped on the AI bot. But yeah, I've got, if you guys want to hump on the GitHub and launch it yourself, the game is super fun now.
Well, yes, another thing I want to ask, where are you guys putting all this info? Do you have is it a central GitHub for
Yeah,
the
we're
Gotchi
building.
bot?
Yeah, we're building. Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, right. I should have. I have not added it to the Gotchi bot yet. And in my roadmap is building, because I want to give the Gotchi bot the documents for Godot. So good, it'll have the Godot documents, and then I can also like give it our GitHub, so you can just be like, Gotchi bot, make me a new level, and it'll build you a new level for the game. So, but I will share this GitHub in the chat, and if anyone's like familiar with Godot, you guys can launch and help build this game. Anyone that wants to join is welcome to join. And if you get stuck, ask the AI and it'll help you. But yeah, you can look at the commits. We've been cooking.
This is for Battleverse, but for Gotchi bot, is there a place where if people want to help contribute?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought
like-
you were talking about the Battleverse. Oh, I think we're proprietary right now. We have a gated Discord. Let me see. LP could probably, I would say, follow the agent on Twitter. That's probably your best entry at this moment. And then we do have a website. I'll put up the website.
That's the cool thing about Eliza. I've been on my lunch breaks. I'm following a lot of what they're doing on their GitHub, and it's open sourced AI agent, which is pretty cool because they had their Discord's like popping off all the time. Lots of people, helping to either code their own or like making PRs and stuff to Eliza to make it better and better every day. Which I think is pretty neat. Open source.
I posted the link in the chat. It's got the agent like built into the web page if you need help with anything. I'll tell you what, I'll put in the prompt right now that made everything click for me, and I stopped everything that was happening in my life. I'll go ahead and post it in the chat, and we'll watch the output. It's basically like, hey, Gotchi, I'm making a Super Smash Bros. Type 2D game, Aavegotchi themed. Give me level ideas based on lore. And then it gave me like 3 or 4 levels that was better than anything we had conceptually came up with. And I was like, oh, that's nice
cool.
For anyone coming in. Yeah, for anyone coming in that like is building on Aavegotchi and doesn't know everything about Aavegotchi, just being able to ping a bot every once in a while to be like, hey, what wearable should I use in this niche situation, in this niche game? And it's going to be like, here's 3.
Yeah, that I mean, we could get to a point where this is on the DApp and it's just like it pops up and it says, "Hey, do you have any questions?" Someone could just chat with it right there and
Yeah,
get accurate responses. We were trying to do something
yeah.
like
I
that
can.
with Mava early on, probably half a year ago. But it's just like it's so much work to add all the docs and just get everything, to where it's either like if it's hallucinating too much, it's basically useless. But to get to the point where it's actually giving accurate information, it's a lot of work. So kudos to you guys for putting that work in.
Appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna keep grinding.
Yeah, I want to address the question about the leaderboard. So for Gotchi tokens and the Gotchi points, the final airdrop will be point based. We made the leaderboard as like a visual aid so people can see their rank, and I think actually right now it's only showing the top 100 or so. So we're going to extend that just so it shows I think top 1,000. But just because even if we do extend it to 1,000 and you're not on the leaderboard, doesn't mean you're not going to get any gotchi points. There will be an announcement about various things like the cutoff and the way in which the points are distributed as we get closer to the actual airdrop. But yeah, just because like not being on the leaderboard doesn't mean you're not going to get points, not going to get tokens. It will be like the leaderboard is more of a visual aid to see what your current rank is. Where's the leaderboard? Oh man, it's on the Gotchi points page. Send the link to it here. And yeah, we're going to extend this out to probably the top 1,000 because I think right now we've maxed out already quite early. Nice. Let's see. I see Golden Cross on the call. Sir, do you want to anything you want to share with everyone while we're chilling? Yeah, we did just reach, we're at 8,000 points so far in the game pool. So for you guys, if you not familiar with what that means that once we start spinning the wheel, any points that are deducted, that are won through that wheel will get deducted from that available points pool until it goes to 0. And then if you spin it, you won't be able to spin it after it goes to 0. But basically what that means is that every time someone burns Alchemica, there's part of those points are generated and they're added to the spin the wheel pool. And that's basically to ensure that the kind of players can never come in and just totally dominate the airdrop. It's always going to be 70% to the Alchemica holders and burners and 30% to the Gotchi point players.
Hello.
Yo.
Yo. Happy Thanksgiving to those celebrating this last few days. I'm just finishing up some travel and got in a little late to this today, but it's been a good weekend so far. Did you guys cover the part about I guess like the NFT bridge progress? And because that kind of relates to Gotchiverse, and you tweeted that update out the other day, so it seems like we're moving really good on that front. And it
Yeah.
looks like a little preempt to the Dow hour, but Egypt 137 is going to pass, so that really makes it easy for um, us to continue with the vision we had, where gotchis
Yeah, totally.
don't have collateral stuck in them that isn't useful. So that's going to be a big upgrade.
Yeah, we did reach that 105% quorum, sneaking in there right the last few hours, that last 10% or so. The code is already done pretty much. And the only thing is that with that is that we just we don't want to push it until we have announcements ready. Otherwise, it's very possible that someone might get wrecked in the bazaar. It's like someone might not update the price and they'd buy it, and then the collateral wouldn't be there. So we're going to make sure that everything is put together in the announcement. And I'm sure even with that announcement, people will probably, it's possible they might still uh, not notice that the collateral is not there anymore. So let's all be on our best behavior throughout the week. Once the announcement does come out, let's not try to screw any friends over. Uh, we'll need to readjust the prices in the bazaar potentially, or not, or let the market decide how to handle it.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I mean, there's exceptions where you always take a glance and see what's staked in the Spirit Force, but
Yeah.
usually it doesn't influence my desire to own a certain Aavegotchi or something. But um, it really depends case by case. Maybe we even put a new pop up or something in the bazaar, at least for a couple weeks,
Yeah.
just to really put in people's faces that be aware of this major change. So that is something that we can probably not repeat enough. Now that it looks like it's going to pass, but that's big because that really opens up the bridge to be on the right terms as envisioned, and then with the bridge opening, we're going to support Aavegotchis on Polygon wherever you hold your Aavegotchis for this launch party, but we wanted to make sure that the bridge to Geist was at least open, and we're pretty well through the migration when we have our kind of celebration in 3D together. So that's fast approaching. Things have been going really well with the migration. All things considered, it's super smooth, and that means it's time to party. So this time next week, we will all be in the Gotchiverse together. We are a week away. Um, and it should be pretty cool. Like I said, if you're Polygon with your Gotchis, that's fine. If you're one of the first to use the bridge and Geist is where your Gotchis are at, that's fine too. We'll be able to support both. And what you're going to be expecting is basically just a first kickoff launch party. I would not call it a stress test. It's a live build that's been tested internally, and it's really just a first chance for us all to celebrate this migration and to be in 3D together with all our 3D wearables, 3D gotchis, and run through some activities and kind of, in a way, stress test it. But we're really just there to have a good time. We're starting to invite some special guests, things like that. Um, and yeah, use it as a launch pad to promote everything else that's happening in the ecosystem. So maybe we can get the AI bot to be attending in the Gotchiverse or something. We got to work on
Yeah,
that
that's
too.
yes, yes, that is the end game. So any kind of interface you can give me to have it move around, I'm all ear.
Oh, cool. All right, we'll definitely have to work on that. See how it would. Try a couple ways to do that. So yeah, it's going to be next week. This time next week we'll kick it off. There's going to be like it's an open edition. There's some mints for participating and being there, and with the time zones and stuff, we're leaning towards an 8-hour party window where you can hop in the verse, and like there's certain minting mechanics that are live during that entire 8-hour window. So whether you're there at like the peak first hour or you just can't make it, you can come in a few hours later and still be a part of it. It's like some of these badges and things you earn are time sensitive. The photos, for instance, you can only mint those during this 8-hour window. So there's going to be these cameras that spawn throughout the Gotchiverse, but for that first collection, we're calling them the what is it, the Instagotchi. If you want to be in that collection, you got to be in there taking photos in that 8-hour window, anywhere in that 8-hour window. But yeah, very excited to get it live, get it up. It should be able to support up to 60, maybe even 80 people per server. um, and we'll see how it does. But there's a lot of cool mechanics we can adjust on the fly if we need to. Like we could spin up servers with a smaller head count, but have more servers, etc. I mean, we'll learn a bit for sure through the process. But at the same time, uh, that's the experience we're expecting. Full dance floors, holding up to 60 people safely, and then, like I said, this kind of spawn schedule that will commence with different things we can do in the verse. So yeah, we're a week out. Most of the team honestly isn't working on the release anymore. They're continuing to work on farming and racing to get a full farming build with all the other districts supported, and get that up as soon as possible. So everybody's working hard on that the last week or so. Just about everybody. So yeah, that's the update on that side. Everybody's pretty pumped.
See, Al asking about the photos. Part of it is going to be you'll be able to like display them on your NFT parcel in the NFT display at some point, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's what's the point? What's the point of any digital asset? It's uh it's a collection, it's memorabilia, right? It's like, let's say this gets legs, Geist gets legs, and we're out 10 years from now and Geist is running, and if you own a piece of memorabilia from the very first NFTs minted, it's probably a good thing. So yeah, it's part of an ongoing series with the metaverse being so event based. If you think of like whip meetups, they often have like some almost like a glorified POAP in a way for a particular event. So you could think of it this way for the event. It's almost like our POAP. Um, so we have something to commemorate this particular event, and then it's also a template for any events we do in the future. So we can reuse this. There's going to be all sorts of different scenes and 3D worlds built and events on parcels, and so it go to reason that occasionally these bigger scale sanctioned events will be uh, part of the wider Instagram collection, Instagotchi collection. So it's one of many like kind of NFT verticals that we can tap into in the verse. I think it's one of the easiest, a POAP, and then like we added a little gamification on top of it by making it take the photos and all that, do the pickups. But there's obviously a lot of other things we can do in the future. Let's start with some easier ones, and then we can do some, gaming avatars or even temporary skins or wearables or things that are not at one-time use, and all sorts of stuff. We also have the inventory system built out. I think it holds 24 items, so we're going to have a ton of stuff and content. And the photos are just one. It'll trade in the bazaar, and if you're into them, you can collect them. If not, that's absolutely okay too. They're gonna one thing to make sure like the collection is representative of the actual turnout to the party. Uh, you have to have a user profile to take photos, um, but each user profile is capped at 2 photos, so you can mint only 2 photos per user profile. And in that sense, no matter how many different instances of the game are going, no matter how many players show up in that 8 hour period, we will have a known cap at the end of the collection, and every photo is a one of one. So you got a bunch of one of ones, and it reflects roughly, scales to how many people came to the party. So I was saying I'm totally cool with a collection of 10,000 photos or 20,000 photos just as much as a collection of like 200 photos. So scarcity is not really the main focus here since they're all one of one anyway. So
Groovy.
and then for members only, there's another mint, and that one's we're calling the postcard selection. Those are also kind of event based. So the postcards, those are these beautiful cards um, that feature a lot of the team's work and ultimately put together with the bow on it by Stellar. And that collection then is for members only. So you have to be a Geist member to be able to mint that one. And we're going to kick off a bunch of promotions around this next week. We'll get a blog post out that details all this stuff and send out invitations and really start promoting all next week leading up to the party. And then that party is really part of the promotion to lead up to farming. So from strength to strength, we'll try to build some momentum.
All right. Well, looking forward to that for next week. And let's get down to business. Yeah.